The Seattle Sounders, breaking news. Not only did they get their first win of the season, they score 5 goals. Russell Brown, what do you think?
I think it was great. It's what they needed, what the doctor ordered. A little dicey there at the beginning. Obviously, we're going to talk about Nuhu going down early on, and it felt like, here we go again. But just what the doctor ordered, every Seattle PD, scribbling down the prescription for a 5-goal big win at home. I think this is exactly what can set them on the right course now.
And you're right about the prescription from the doctor to take to the drugstore. The first one started out with Nuhu, right? And so we talked to him in the locker room, and he said, hey, I'm fine. And even Brian Smetzer said that he's okay. So, we'll show you that clip in just a moment in the video here. And also, we'll just show them the clip a little bit. So, and then Brian Smetzer just talked about, you know what, I just want to enjoy the win. And that's the one we'll show in just a moment, because this was one of those really feel-good wins that got, exercise the demons, monkey off the back, confidence and everything else. So going back, what did you see in terms of the goals that were scored? I know we have 5 of them, but was there any common theme you saw there?
Yeah, and I think you mentioned it in the press conference, very goal dangerous. They really got into great position. Raul's obviously was a goal that Raaul scores, from far out. Sometimes he just tries things. He says that in his press conference too, in the locker room. He just tries things sometimes. The penalty was well-deserved. Albert drew it. The combination play between Christian and Jordan for the third one. I mean, everything was beautiful, but I think the best goal to exemplify the night was the final one, where they ended up getting Alex Roldan on the finish, but just the team chemistry, which is always there, but the finishing today was just beautiful.
Yeah, and Dylan Teves gets a goal in there as well. But to your point, I think everybody was confident, not only when they had the ball, but when they didn't have the ball. And then they were courageous and dangerous as they got to a spot, assuming and knowing, hey, the ball is going to be there. And it was there tonight.
Yeah, it was. And it's so good to see for them. You saw the excitement. You saw Raaul hungry. He's looking for that third goal as well. You'd love to see that animal coming out of him, because if you're going to climb out of this, basement that you dug yourself into in last place in the West, you got to have your number 9 scoring. And right now he looked mad when he missed one, pretty much a sitter right here, the opportunity to score, and you saw him kind of looking like Debo. He was mad about it, and that's good for the Sounders when your striker is looking so hungry.
Yeah, I thought it looked like a kid who, when somebody takes their toy and he
bad walking back. No, I thought he was. Where's your beach cruiser at? I thought.
Okay.
So I think that's real good. He looks happy. In the Raaul way. Raaul looks happy in the locker room. So I think that's so key. Jordan getting over the hump to his first of the season. That's gonna be huge. Christian out wide again. That's great. Everything just seemed to go together, and I can't miss Steph Fry, also 106th, I believe, clean sheet of his MLS career, inching closer to second all time. I mean, that's huge for 24 in goal, who's the captain of this team, and without him, who knows what this franchise would be.
All right, so here's Brian Smetzer, a couple post-game videos for you. Here's what the coach has.
Nuhu, he's fine. We're going to reassess him. He had some tightness, cramping, something with his thigh. I expect him to be okay. So that's the injury report. Happy to see, JP back on the field, obviously, and no other injuries. So now you can start perform well. Did the team perform well against the Galaxy in most parts of the game, except for scoring? I think the team has been on the cusp with some of the injuries and adversity that we've had. I think the team was on the cusp of getting back to what everybody had hoped for. Your questions are always good. They make me think. I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the evening. Just, try and not think about why we played better. I'm just going to enjoy the moment. We'll watch the tape, and we're going to have a good week of training, and we're going to fly to Dallas and try and play just as good as we did at home.
Okay, so there you go. And I think that says it all in terms of last video with Brian Smetzer saying, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy this for the next couple of days. They always get Sunday off and Monday then they back to practice. But so what can we expect? Did you see anything today that they cannot replicate. Now, fair enough. I'm sorry, I'm double question here. They score 3 goals, 11 on 11, and they score 2 goals when it's 11 on 10.
Yeah.
Any magic here that they cannot,
That's hard. It's hard. You're not going to score 5. If I'm a betting man, I'm not. But you're not going to score 5 on the road at Dallas. But I think the confidence is something that can be replicated now that you get one in. Tactically, even Schmetzer said, I don't quite know yet what went so well with the attack. Sometimes you got to take a step back, give it a day, and kind of see what did work. But I think the confidence is going to be key. We talked about Raaul, we talked about Jordan, we talked about Christian, we talked about Steph. All these players, Steph, especially they need that bounce back after the LA game. He talked about how he wanted to continue to show he's one of the top goalkeepers in this league. Sometimes you just need those type of games to give you that, okay, I'm back, and, get your swag back, get back to that. So I think in Dallas, you want to see that. The confidence of the players, I think, is going to be big. Tactically, we'll have to see.
But I think the 2 players we haven't mentioned that played really well besides the back line, obviously Yamar, and we talked a little bit about Alex, and also Jackson Reagan. I would say Josh Atencio and Obed Vargas. They're both back, and I think that they had a silent game, which is really an exceptional game, because what you want for those players is just to be in the game and not, get in the way. They're good enough, but this game they did what they needed. Played defensively when they had to and made the passes forward without turnovers, and I think that was also critical, and that's something they can take forward to the Dallas game.
I would say Baker too. Obviously, we missed him coming in. Once Nuhu went down, he was the first sub to come in, and he really held it down out there, so he was a big reason for tonight as well.
All right, so there you have it. The Seattle Sounders get on the winning side. They win for the first time this season. They beat 5-0. They beat Montreal. For the CascadiaSports.net report, I'm Osvita Marira. He's Russell Brown. Thank you for listening and watching.